Welcome to Forever Remembered. I'm Elizabeth. Today we take time to honour the lives of incredible individuals whose impact continues to echo across generations. Through their work, passion and dedication, they touched countless hearts. Join us as we celebrate their stories from film, music and culture, preserving memories that will never fade and always inspire. 20 years ago this week, the music world reflected on the passing of June Pointer at the age of 52. As a member of the Pointer Sisters, she was part of a family act that helped redefine pop, R&B, and dance music through the 1970s and 1980s. Their sound was energetic, versatile, and full of personality, leaving a lasting mark on global music culture. Hits that still endure. June Pointer's voice contributed to some of the group's most memorable songs, including Fire, He's So Shy, Jump for My Love, and I'm So Excited. These tracks became defining moments of their era, filling dance floors and airwaves with an infectious sense of joy and rhythm that still resonates today. Legacy beyond the spotlight. While fame brought success, it also came with personal challenges and pressures that often go unseen behind the stage lights. June's story reflects both the brilliance and the complexity of life in music. Her passing marked the end of an important chapter, but her contributions remain deeply embedded in pop history. As a performer, she helped create songs that continue to inspire movement, celebration, and emotion, ensuring her voice remains part of music's lasting memory. Reports circulating online claiming the passing of Nicholas Brendan at the age of 54 are not supported by reliable or confirmed sources. It's important to be careful with such claims, especially when they spread quickly through social media. As of available verified information, Brendan is known for his acting career and public struggles, and any statement about his death should not be treated as fact without official confirmation. What remains clear, however, is the lasting impact of his work on television and the strong emotional connection many fans still feel toward his performances. A defining role in a cult classic, Brendan is best known for playing Xander Harris in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a role that made him a key part of the show's emotional foundation. As the loyal, humorous, and deeply human best friend in the series, he brought balance to the supernatural drama with warmth and relatability. His performance helped shape Xander into one of the most memorable characters in the show's legacy. Work beyond Buffy. Outside of Buffy, Brendan appeared in series such as Criminal Minds and Kitchen Confidential, showing range across both drama and comedy. While his career included ups and downs, audiences often remember the authenticity he brought to his roles. His work continues to be revisited by fans who grew up watching him, keeping his performances part of ongoing pop culture conversations and television history. Robert Mueller, who passed away at the age of 81, lived a life defined by public service and duty. Before entering law and national security work, he served as a U.S. Marine Corps officer during the Vietnam War. His military service earned him recognition for bravery, including the Purple Heart and Bronze Star, reflecting a career that began with discipline and commitment. FBI leadership Mueller later became director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, leading the agency from 2001 to 2013. His tenure covered a critical period in modern US history, including major shifts in national security priorities after the early 2000s. He was known for focusing on strengthening investigative capabilities and maintaining institutional stability during changing political landscapes. Special counsel role. After leaving the FBI, Mueller returned to public service as special counsel in the Mueller investigation into Russian interference in 2016 US election. The investigation examined foreign interference and related matters tied to the 2016 US presidential election. His work placed him at the center of intense public and political attention during a highly sensitive period. Legacy and public service. Mueller's legacy is closely tied to his long career in law enforcement and national security. Across decades of service, he was often viewed as a steady and disciplined figure in complex investigations. His life reflects a consistent focus on duty, structure, and public responsibility, leaving a lasting imprint on US legal and security institutions. Tom Neto, a former Major League Baseball catcher and respected coach, passed away at the age of 65 after a heart attack. Remembered across the baseball community, Neto built his reputation in the 1980s as a steady and reliable catcher, valued for his calm presence behind the plate and his strong understanding of the game's finer details. One of the defining moments of his playing career came in 1987, when he was part of the Minnesota Twins team that went on to win the World Series, a milestone he often looked back on with pride. After retiring as a player, Neto remained closely connected to baseball, transitioning into coaching roles where he continued to share his knowledge and experience. During the 1990s and 2000s, he worked with organizations such as the New York Yankees and New York Mets, where he was respected for his leadership, mentorship, and commitment to helping younger players grow. Colleagues and players remember him as patient, thoughtful, and deeply dedicated to the sport. His legacy lives on through the many lives he influenced both on and off the field. Bruce Willis was born in 1955 on a US military base in Germany and raised in a working-class town in New Jersey. His childhood was shaped by modest surroundings and a family that valued resilience and hard work over attention or praise. But beneath that ordinary upbringing, he carried an extraordinary internal struggle. Around the age of 9, he developed a severe stutter that made speaking in front of others a daily challenge. What for many children might have been a small obstacle became for him a barrier that shaped how he saw the world. Words would get stuck, sentences would break apart, and conversations often felt like battles he couldn't win. School was especially difficult, where teasing and misunderstanding made silence feel safer than speaking. Yet this struggle also pushed him towards something unexpected. In an effort to cope, he leaned into humour, discovering that making people laugh could shift attention away from his speech difficulties. That early instinct eventually grew into something bigger when he joined school drama activities. Acting created something remarkable for him. When he became another character, the stutter often faded. On stage, he wasn't trapped by hesitation or fear. He was free. This discovery didn't just help him communicate, it changed his direction in life. It gave him a place where expression felt natural, where voice replaced silence, and where confidence slowly began to replace insecurity. Acting didn't just become a hobby, it became a form of transformation that would eventually define his entire future. New York's struggles and the breakthrough of moonlighting. After high school, Bruce Willis didn't immediately step into fame or opportunity. Like many aspiring actors, he spent years working ordinary jobs while chasing auditions in New York City. The city in the late 1970s was tough, unpredictable, and often unforgiving to dreamers. He worked as a bartender in lively downtown bars, where personality mattered as much as skill. In that environment, he learned how to observe people, read rooms, and use timing and humour, skills that would later become essential to his screen presence. Every shift behind the bar became a kind of informal performance, where charm and quick thinking kept the crowd engaged. Still, acting success didn't come easily. He faced rejection repeatedly, often being told he didn't fit the mold of a traditional leading man. But everything changed when he auditioned for a television series that would become Moonlighting. The role required wit, confidence, and a slightly unpredictable energy. Willis brought all of that and more, even if casting executives were unsure at first. His performance stood out not because it was polished, but because it felt alive, improvised, sharp, and human. Against expectations, he was cast opposite Sybil Shepherd, and the chemistry between them became the heart of the show. Moonlighting turned him into a household name almost overnight, proving that charisma and originality could sometimes outweigh conventional star image. It was the moment his career fully ignited. Die Hard and the reinvention of the action hero. When Bruce Willis was cast in Die Hard, it was not seen as a safe or obvious choice. At the time, action films were dominated by larger-than-life figures, muscular heroes who seemed almost invincible. Willis, known primarily for television comedy, didn't match that image. Many industry observers doubted whether audiences would accept him in such a physically demanding role. Even the studio had reservations, initially favouring more established action stars. But what they underestimated was exactly what made the film work. As John McClane, Willis brought something new to the genre: vulnerability. Instead of an untouchable hero, he played a man who gets hurt, struggles, improvises, and survives through grit rather than perfection. The character bled, doubted himself, and reacted like an ordinary person trapped in an extraordinary situation. That realism reshaped what an action hero could be. Audiences didn't just watch McClane, they related to him. The humour, exhaustion, and emotional honesty made the character feel human in a way action films hadn't fully explored before. When Die Hard was released in 1988, it became a major success and redefined Willis's career. What began as a risky casting decision turned into a cultural milestone. It didn't just elevate him into global stardom, it also changed the template for action movies that followed, influencing decades of storytelling in the genre. Stardom, reinvention, and creative highs and lows. The success of Die Hard transformed Bruce Willis into one of the most recognisable actors in Hollywood. The 1990s became a period of immense visibility, where he moved between action blockbusters, experimental projects, and mainstream comedies. His relationship and later marriage with Demi Moore placed him even more firmly in the public eye, turning them into one of Hollywood's most discussed couples. Together, they balanced fame, family life, and constant media attention, attempting to create normalcy while living under intense scrutiny. Professionally, the decade was a mix of bold successes and creative risks. He took on unconventional roles in films like Pulp Fiction, where his performance reminded audiences of his range beyond action stardom. At the same time, he explored ambitious projects that didn't always land well critically or commercially. This mix of highs and lows is common for actors willing to experiment, but for Willis, it also reflected a desire not to be confined to a single identity. By the late 1990s, he had proven he could move between genres: action, drama, science fiction, and independent cinema. Films like The Sixth Sense showed a more restrained, emotional side of his acting, earning him renewed respect. This period solidified him not just as an action star, but as a versatile performer capable of adapting to different cinematic worlds. Changing industry and shifting public perception. As the 2000s progressed, Hollywood itself began to change. The rise of large franchises, superhero films, and studio-driven universes shifted the industry away from traditional star-led projects. Actors who once dominated box office culture found themselves navigating a new system where branding and franchises often mattered more than individual star power. Bruce Willis, whose career had been built in an earlier era of filmmaking, naturally adapted in ways that reflected these changes. During this time, he continued working steadily, appearing in both big-budget films and smaller productions. Some choices were critically praised, while others were less successful. As with many long-career actors, the variety of roles led to mixed public perception. In hindsight, what some interpreted as inconsistency was also a reflection of an actor continuing to work actively rather than stepping away from the industry. Hollywood's evolving structure also changed how audiences judged actors' later careers. Projects that might once have been seen simply as work for hire became heavily scrutinized in the age of online criticism. This shift influenced how his later filmography was perceived, often reducing complex career decisions to simplified narratives of success or decline. Later, career and reinterpreting the final film years. In the 2000s and early 2020s, Bruce Willis appeared in a large number of lower-budget action films. Public reaction to these projects was often harsh, with some viewers assuming he was simply choosing easy work for quick pay. However, as later information about his health became public, these years took on a very different meaning. Rather than being viewed purely through the lens of criticism, this phase of his career is now widely understood in a more compassionate context. It became clear that he was facing serious cognitive health challenges which affected communication and performance. With this understanding, the brief appearances and simplified roles in his later films are often reinterpreted as part of an effort to continue working while adapting to personal limitations. This period highlights an important truth about public figures. Audiences often see the final product, not the circumstances behind it. What once appeared confusing or inconsistent now carries a deeper layer of meaning. It reflects not decline in ambition, but persistence in the face of difficulty, an attempt to remain engaged with a profession he had spent his entire life building. Health diagnosis and family response. In 2022, Bruce Willis's family publicly shared that he had been diagnosed with aphasia, a condition that affects communication and language processing. The announcement brought clarity to years of speculation about changes in his behaviour and performances. For fans and colleagues alike, the news reframed earlier misunderstandings in a new and more compassionate light. Shortly afterward, the diagnosis was further clarified as frontotemporal dementia, FTD, a progressive neurological condition that affects speech, behaviour, and cognitive function. This update helped explain the broader challenges he had been facing. It also marked a turning point, shifting focus away from his career and toward his health and family life. His family, his wife, former wife, and children responded with remarkable unity. Rather than retreating from public attention, they chose to share updates openly, helping raise awareness about a condition that is often misunderstood. Their approach emphasized dignity, care, and support, showing how families can come together during difficult medical journeys. The emphasis was not on career legacy, but on love, presence, and quality of life in the moment. Legacy, memory, and lasting impact. Bruce Willis's legacy extends far beyond any single role or decade of work. He helped redefine what an action hero could be, bringing vulnerability and humour into a genre that had often relied on invincibility. His performances in films like Die Hard, Pulp Fiction, and The Sixth Sense continue to shape how audiences understand character-driven storytelling in mainstream cinema. Beyond his filmography, his career also represents endurance and adaptability. From television breakthrough to global stardom, from critical setbacks to artistic reinvention, his journey reflects the unpredictable nature of long creative lives. He remained active across changing eras of Hollywood, adjusting to new expectations while continuing to work in an evolving industry. Today, his story is often remembered with a sense of reflection rather than spectacle. While his later years brought challenges, they also revealed the strength of his family support system and the lasting impact he had on audiences worldwide. Ultimately, Bruce Willis is remembered not only for the characters he played, but for the emotional honesty he brought to them. His legacy remains deeply tied to resilience, connection, and the enduring power of storytelling on screen.